Second game was a pretty big dub for the Bomb Squad. They came back after their first game, and this is when I didn't pitch, so I couldn't do anything except for close the game. Brecken played really well that game, even though he was your sub. I'm really glad that he did pretty well as our sub. He pitched really well. Dylan pitched pretty well. I'm pretty sure Brecken had a 2-pitch inning, one of those innings, so that was really crazy. Other than that, Grayson pitched really well. So did Brandon. Came in relief pretty often too. He did decent, but Grayson pitched amazing, even though we had a few hits off of him. So Bomb Squad wins the second game, on to the third game. So to start off the game, Grayson is starting, and I am leading off. My lineup will be me, Brecken Bullhorn, and then Dylan Basaki. So I end up leading off with a walk. Runners on first with Brecken, Bullhorn up to bat. Brecken barrels one up that looks to be gone, but is not actually gone. But he hits it right to the spot to where I can take third base. So we have runners on first and third. So Dylan does a great job putting the ball in play, and George just can't get to it in time to get Dylan out, but he ends up making an overthrow when Brecken is going to third base, which allows him to take home. So now I got a runner on second base with a 2-run single on an error for Dylan Basaki. So after Grayson didn't start off 2, like Rito start, Brandon comes in to face me with a runner in scoring position and no outs to try and get himself out of a jam. And I hit the ball in the air, and it hits the fence, and it scores Dylan and brings me to second base. So just switched positions and scored a run for the Bomb Squad. Brecken's now up, and he hits a little blooper in the air. Easy catch for Brandon. Keeps me at second base. So after an amazing 2-minute at-bat, Dylan ends up taking his base on a walk. So that brings me off the bat, and I hit a pretty nice ball to second base, and with George getting the ball in really fast, it only leads to a single with no RBIs, as Dylan is not able to advance. With bases loaded and a 4-2 count, Brecken ends up striking out. Brandon gets out of a huge jam for the Aces to only allow them to 3 runs. So, pitching-wise to start off, I am starting, and batting-wise, Brandon is leading off, along with Grayson and George, as I get 2 strikes easily on Brandon. Brandon ends up putting the ball in play, but right to the pitcher. So, easy out, 1 out, nobody on. So Grayson's up and I throw him a curveball, and he hits what I would say is a single. Dylan could not get to the ball, so routine single for Grayson. So I throw yet another curveball, and George pops it up. Thankfully, I get the lucky bounce off my hands, and I make the catch for 2 outs, end of the inning. So they end up putting back in Grayson, as he needs at least 1 out to allow Brandon to pitch the rest of the game. Dylan keeps it up with these great at-bats as he continues to draw walks, which is just runners on base. So Grayson gets me on 2 early strikes, and he catches me looking on the outside part of the plate. Now, since Grayson got us out, Brandon can pitch again as he gets first pitch straight chasing. Brandon gets 2 strikes on him, and he gets him to chase on a knuckleball just for strike 3, ends the inning. So we decide to keep me in as we can for the rest of the game, and Brandon barrels 1 up, but right to Brecken for the out. Good play by Brecken, way to stay down on it. And Grayson continues to make contact on the ball as he hits the ball perfectly to where we cannot make a play on the ball, and he is safe at first for an infield single. So I get George to chase on a 2-strike pitch, end of the inning. They end up putting back in Grayson as he creates a ground ball right back to him for 1 easy out. Grayson gets me chasing on 2 straight strikes, and then he gets me to chase on another high riser. Strike 3 in the inning. First pitch of the inning, Brandon pops one up, and Dylan misreads it. He goes right over him for what I would say is an error from Dylan. Runner on first base. Grayson then hits yet another well-placed ball to have them both safe. Runners on first and second now, with George up to bat, no outs. And on 4 straight pitches, including 2 hit-by pitches, I walked George to create bases loaded. After an intense 14-pitch at-bat on a huge moment, I end up striking Brandon out looking on a curveball. Huge game changer for the bomb squad with going into the bases loaded jam with 1 out instead of 0. And on 4 straight pitches, I end up getting myself out of a bases loaded jam to end the inning, top 4. So they still keep in Grayson as they should. He is absolutely dealing through the bomb squad after the first inning. So he gets 1 early strike and 2 early strikes on Brecken Billhorn. Grayson throws a slider that hangs to the point where Brecken cannot reach it as he reaches for the slider, strike 3. Dylan has a surprisingly nice infield hit as nobody can get to it for an infield single using his wheels. So I go into an 0-2 count here, and I just want to protect, but I hit a home run anyways on an inside pitch. It's a 2-run shot. Extends the lead to 5, going into the bottom of the 4th. Brandon does not seem shook at all after the home run as he strikes Brecken out on 3 straight pitches. And end of the inning, going into the bottom of the 4th, the final inning, where the Aces have a chance to tie it or else they go home. So I get George into a 4-2 count, and I throw a curveball, and he strikes out swinging. 1 out, Omar out, and the bomb squad close the game and win the series 2-1. So Brandon hits a ball that we all think is going to be caught, but Brecken misses it, and it's an infield error single. So that brings Grayson up to the plate, and I throw him 2 nasty curveballs. There's 1, and there's 2. So I get him early on the 0-2 count. So then I get a little bit of cocky, and I throw a knuckleball, and he hits a home run. The first 2 runs of the game, 2-5, is the score now after the 2-run shot to keep the Aces alive. So not very much longer after, George hits a home run on a curveball right down the middle. He goes yard, back-to-back home runs for the Aces. Now the score is 3-5. So to keep the 1-out rally alive, Brandon hits a ball off the bounce, which, after review, is legal. So Brandon does end up hitting a single off of that hit. So now Grayson is up to bat with the tying run being him. So I get 2 strikes on Grayson early, 1 and 2. The Grayson just continues to stay alive. After he fouls 1 off, he fouls 2 off. That one was almost fair. He fouls 3 off. But I end up striking him out to end the game. Rough ending, but the bomb squad ended up coming out on top, winning the series and the game 2-1 and winning the game 5-3.